time to shuffle up. With Duncan, Jeff, and Sloan, let's fill our cups. Commander decks in hand, the battle's about to start. A podcast for the legends, where magic meets the heart. Commander's Pod, where the stories unfold. With heroes and villains, new and old. Duncan, Jeff, and Sloan guide the way. In the world of EDH we play.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Commander's Pod. Once again, I'm your pod father, Duncan. I am joined by Sloan.
What's up, guys?
And Jeff.
What's up?
And thanks for joining us today. Today, we're getting close to Christmas, and we're going to talk about Santa's gifts for Magic players.
Yeah, buddy.
Some gift ideas that Santa can bring to the players this season. If you need some last-minute gift ideas, Santa, pay attention.
Yeah, how to bless those you care about.
We're going to talk about some new players, which we talked about a bit about last time, but we'll kind of go into some more details.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about, is maybe Jeff the new Andrew?
No, I'm not.
Maybe.
I think maybe. And Jeff will have triggers probably about that subject, but also about other things. And we'll have our card of the day. And I'm going to give an update on the Marvel giveaway and when we're going to do that. So let's get started. So talking about the new players. So when Jeff came out a couple weeks ago, he played with some new players. First one was Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
And Lewis was new-ish. He had been playing a few times. I had played him a couple times before. He's newer to
He was new to us. He was
He
new
only
to
has
me.
a couple decks.
Yeah.
And he did well though. I mean, even when I killed him 2 games in a row, he didn't get discouraged. He didn't get angry. He was a good-hearted guy. He was fun to play with. He had good decks. I thought he played well. He was definitely the threat at certain times in both games. In all the games we'd play with him, I'd say. It was a lot of fun playing with him, and Euclides was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And Euclides was brand new to Commander. We were the first opponents he played. I don't know if you think about that.
Yeah.
We were the first opponents he played in Commander. He had played a little bit of Standard.
There's a chance he's not going to come back, is what you're saying.
And the problem is I didn't get to go the next week to see if he came back, so I'm going to have to find out. I hope he did. He said he was going to. He said he was going to when he left that night. And on that one at the end, the last game, which Jeff had left, but Sloan helped him. He helped him chain together the win and kind of showed him how if you put all this together, there's nothing Duncan can do. You're going to win.
Right.
And, well, don't do that.
No,
It was great.
absolutely.
No, I'm
That's-
joking.
yeah, that's, I
No.
mean,
It was cool. I think Euclides definitely needed that.
And we did help him with his deck. We did go through his deck
did go
too.
through his deck.
Because he
And
had
the
bought
funny
one
thing is,
online. We helped him take cards out and put cards in.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, we had talked about Brash Taunter and whether he should take it out. I was like, take it out. Jeff was on the fence. Sloan was like, do not take this out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what won him the game. And Sloan
Yeah,
kind of
buddy.
proved his point.
yeah. I mean, and so that's the fun thing, I think, too, when
He
getting
was
to play
playing
with a new
Wolverine.
player.
I don't know if we ever really said
so he
that.
was playing Wolverine.
Yep.
But one of the fun things, too, at least for me, is helping people potentially find what I call the moment, right? Like the moment that's like, oh, this is awesome. Like I like that hooks them. And I think when you have a really fun interactive deck like Wolverine is, especially with the one that he got where a lot of it is instant based and just pumping Wolverine really quick, I think it's really cool when you get to show him like, hey, here's the power of what you have, just so you know, and here's how you do it. And being able to help walk him through that, like I was that last turn to get him to win the game despite Duncan's best efforts. I think it was really cool experience and kind of showcasing too, like, because again, out of the 3 of us, I would say, because I have Brash Taunter in a couple of my decks, including a new one I'm building, because of his ability, there's not a lot people can do to stop it once it happens.
Right.
It happens. And
Because
so,
they could have hexproof on all their stuff, so you can't target the fight ability that many people put in Wolverine.
right,
You can't target. You can't do it.
right,
Well, now you don't need to. You got Brash Taunter. Do
Right.
it to him. He'll
Yeah.
do it for you.
exactly. And
Like
so
he'll kill the player directly instead of going through the creature.
right, which is what's super cool about that deck and that interaction, and being the person who probably plays that the most in most of my decks compared to these 2 guys. Like Duncan just said, he was kind of like, you could probably take it out. Jeff was kind of on the fence. I'm like, do not take it out. Like that is an instant win because all you have to do is get him big enough and then have him hit Wolverine, get Wolverine big enough and have Wolverine hit him, and you just delete somebody and they can't do anything. You
And
know,
you could make that a focal point of the deck.
You
and
could.
play the thing that says creatures deal double damage.
Yeah.
Because Wolverine doubles it onto Brash Tanner, and then Brash Tanner would double it onto the player.
And he had the enchantment out, like we mentioned last time, that said at the beginning of combat, double the power of all creatures you control.
Power and toughness.
And toughness.
Which I think all those things are good. I typically, when I'm helping new players, so the most help they need is balancing out their deck. So card draw, ramp, and single target removal is typically the area that gets lost. That you have to. It's not the fun, sexy part of a deck, but it's the part that lets your deck work every time.
Right.
And so you have to take out the stuff that's not efficient and get enough card draw and ramp in there.
Now, Euclides had bought his deck on either eBay or
I think it was
Etsy.
eBay.
Yeah, he said eBay, I think.
And he had just finished sleeving it when we sat at the table.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we were the first people he faced. So his deck was pretty good, though. I mean,
but it played
bad.
a lot better the second time. I think
the second time it did, but also that how much of that was him learning too.
100%. Yeah,
You know,
because you have to attack
because
with that deck.
We did put a little bit more card draw in there,
Yeah.
and take some things out that maybe weren't so hot.
We got the shop to give him a soul ring.
Yeah, because it didn't have a soul ring.
No commander player should not have a soul ring. So
Yeah,
we
and you
fixed
missed
that.
it, by the way. The shop lent him a mat, but I gave him a mat when he left.
Oh,
I
thank
gave
you.
him that
That's good.
Deadpool mat.
Yeah.
I forgot my mats, so I didn't even have a
Yeah,
mat.
so
to
you had
give
been
him.
using my Deadpool mat. And I it was from Ken Myers. It was signed. It
Yeah.
was a signed mat, and I'm like, you know what, dude? I go, Ken Myers is an artist. I explained. I said it's signed. I got this at MagicCon, but I want you to have it.
That's cool.
So
And then I gave him a win.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I contributed to that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I mean, I definitely think I think I get to play with Lewis the one game that I played my Prosper.
Yep.
I think Lewis is in that game.
Yep.
I think he was the guy right next to me, if I remember correctly. The gentleman sitting next to
Yes.
me in
Yep.
that game,
To your
to my right.
yes.
So unfortunately, I did not realize he was a new player when I sat down, and then he had to experience Prosper.
well, like I said, he's not new.
Yeah,
he wasn't
he's not new.
Euclides where it was his first game.
Yeah, which is why
He
I
was
pulled out
only
Turtle.
I think
new
it's-
to us.
Yeah, well, and it was only his second or third week. I think he'd been there. Playing
Okay, but he's
Commander.
probably played more other times.
Yeah,
So-
but he was new to Commander those 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh,
before,
was he?
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
He's still new, but he had played Magic before, so he's
Yeah.
not new to the game. And Euclides had played a little of Magic.
Yes.
Now with
back in
Lewis,
the
though,
day.
we talked about last time. There was that instance where Jeff could have saved him
Yeah.
when I swung at him. He could have said, "Hey, block with more than one."
Greedy
Yeah.
Jeff.
But he didn't because Jeff was thinking about winning.
And he's a
No,
typical green
it was
player.
also a good way to learn. That's really there was motivation.
Oh my-
The pain is the best.
Just
Yeah,
like-
I'm gonna
I
remember
was,
that.
suitor.
I was
I'm gonna-
doing it for the people.
I'm gonna remember that the next time one of your kids hits your other kids in the head. Be like,
So-
"Hey, Jeff, it's just a good way for him to learn."
So I think this.
My
I
kids
think
hit
this
each other in
needs-
the head. I tell them to hit each other back, and my wife gets mad.
Yeah, I think this brings up a very important topic we need to discuss. Is Jeff worse than Andrew?
Yes.
No,
Yes. I think it's yes. So here's my argument.
there's nothing to see here, folks.
All right. Here's the thing that I didn't talk about last time because I was saving it for this episode.
Oh yay.
Jeff's politics are so devious and so insidious.
Oh gosh.
Andrew is very upfront about things. He will try
Yeah.
and talk you onto his side
Uh-huh.
by using his velvety chocolate voice, but he plays his cards. He plays. He's just all in all the time.
Yeah.
Jeff will play something. Maybe it looks like it might be a problem, but he's got cards in hand. He's played something else on another turn. He is holding things back every time at the beginning of the game. And then he'll go, "Oh my gosh, Duncan, did you really just play Wolverine on turn 2? Oh geez, okay. All right, that's fine." And then, or wow, Lewis, you got a lot of
Your
stuff there.
F
Or-
level skills of acting.
Yes.
Somehow still manipulate people at the table, and I'm over there slapping myself in the head like
So
freaking Bugs Bunny watching Elmer Fudd shoot a tree.
Yeah.
Like, what is
So-
going on here, guys?
It had been a few games, and I've played with Jeff before, but we had not played in a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I turned to him. I'm like, "Gosh darn it, Jeff, you are politicking this whole time."
Yeah.
I'm like, nobody listened to him anymore. Don't pay attention to his board state. Just kill him first. That was when you lost your first game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like what I said.
Everybody countered things that didn't matter too. Like they countered and destroyed things that didn't matter. Which for that game it worked. Other games that doesn't necessarily work because it's like I'm smart enough
No,
to know
You
to
keep
put
your
stuff
thumb
out that
on.
you'll target.
You put your thumb on Jeff and you hold him down. You do not let him up.
That is wise to some degree, but I will figure it out, and I just won't put. I'll bait out your stuff.
So I am actively considering changing the ending of this podcast to kill Jeff first.
No, it's not.
Because every time I don't, I regret it. Every single time I don't kill Jeff first,
Yeah,
I regret it.
And yet everyone thinks like I'm the bad guy when we sit down at the table and I don't listen to Jeff talk. They're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, just watch. You guys are going to let him win again because you don't understand what he's doing. And I keep trying to say
Jeff
that.
is the reason that you hate politics.
I mean, I hate politics because politics are politics, but it's just so crazy to me. No offense, Jeff. The worst acting I've ever seen. And yet constantly people fall for it. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, guys,
it's not
that's nothing.
Because it's not acting.
It is acting. You're lying
I'm
because
not.
acting is just pretending like you like something when you don't,
No, it's
or
not
pretending
true.
you
I
don't like something
that.
when you do.
I genuinely like you play a card. I genuinely think that card's awesome.
No, you don't.
Now
You're
the
lying.
reality, it's not.
I play a land.
no,
You
I'm
don't
not.
think it's awesome.
No, that's not why I do that. I do it when he plays a good card. Now the difference is I know in my head it's awesome. The politicking is that I out loud say it's awesome. I ask to see the card. That's the politicking of it. That's the showmanship. Because then it gets them to focus on it, and that's good for me.
See, and this is my counter argument to the politicking thing. When someone puts out a card and I read it, I'm like, that's a problem card. And everyone's like, oh, you're politic. No, I'm not. I'm just stating something that's on the board. I'm not telling you to kill it. I'm not saying I'm going to kill it. All I'm saying is that's an issue.
Here's the thing. Jeff is doing the same thing, but he is hoping you'll kill it.
Right, I'm doing it subtly. I'm not even telling him it's a threat. I'm just telling him it's really
Oh,
cool.
wait, let me
Did
see
you
that card,
this?
Duncan. And then he'll read it out loud.
Yeah, that's right.
He
Yeah,
doesn't say it's a
so
problem. He'll read
stupid.
it. So
And
that
then people
everybody.
fall for it.
It's
I know.
not because
Be
I'm not
better.
telling them what
Listen,
to do.
don't listen to either of them. Be better. Don't fall for it.
No,
Like
do listen
every
to me.
other
I am
politician.
upfront and
No,
honest.
don't listen to either of them. Just be better. Just kill everyone. Just don't let anyone tell you not. Just
But
kill
kill
them
Jeff
all.
first.
No, kill everybody. Kill
No.
everybody first. Just murder
I mean, if
everybody
you
at the
can
same
know-
time.
Kill everybody first. Don't pay attention to what's going on over here.
You just kill
There's
everybody
nothing going
first.
Because
on over here.
he also, like I said, he holds his cards back.
That's right.
So once I killed Lewis,
Yeah.
then he's like, oh, now I put out this. Now you can't get through.
Well, not only that, but like I have single target removal, and I just wait.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, geez.
And
Have answers,
so
folks.
at least Andrew, he plays everything. If you kill Andrew or wipe out his board, he's neutered for a minute.
Yeah.
Jeff, you wipe out his board, he's got a fistful of stuff that's coming back out.
That's right, because board wipes exist. You can't put everything out there. It's a strategy.
And I
game.
also feel like that should be punished. Like that thinking. It's like, okay, well, let's show him that you didn't put it out soon enough, and now you're gonna lose.
yeah, easy.
The fact
if
that
you
he
want to
gets
beat
away
Jeff,
with not playing all in.
if you want to beat Jeff, discard deck. Make him discard his hand constantly so he doesn't have any
he will
answers.
go nutty and kill you first.
Sure,
I
but
100% will. If you play a discard deck,
yeah,
there
but
are certain
that
you
shows
play
you the
stacks
point.
or discard. I'm going to kill you first.
right.
And that's the thing. So Jeff, I mean, he's a fair Magic player.
Uh-huh.
He does miss his triggers sometimes, but
Yeah.
he's a fair Magic player. He has good decks, but he wins most of the time through manipulation and not playing everything all at once and waiting till the he's an opportunist.
Yes, strategy and politics. Yep.
It's aggravating. It's
very
really
aggravating.
aggravating because I know him and I forget, because I think part of his not playing all the time is part of his strategy too, because then
I can't make it to the shop this week.
yeah, because then you forget what he's about to do. And then you look at his board state and you go, oh, poor guy. He's only got he's got all
But
his
the thing
land
is,
drops.
you
but
see me at work too, and I do the exact same thing there.
Oh gosh, it's annoying.
yeah,
there,
strategy.
he
too.
does
And
nothing
politics.
until eventually he does something.
That's right. So I don't know why you don't understand it's going to happen, but yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
fine.
So I think it's clear Jeff is more of a problem than Andrew.
No.
I'm sure Andrew will be more than happy to back this statement.
Yeah, probably. I
And
definitely think.
is there not a new poster that's supposed to be put up about you?
I think
Yes.
there is.
Yes.
It's a pretty one. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
So, by
if
the
you
way,
could add that picture.
by
to
the way,
video.
this is also subtle politics because I don't want to be the threat, so I'm just going to pass on to another subject.
No, your sign's getting made for sure.
Well,
I mean,
So
you're only
just-
there
I'm
once
I'm
letting
every
not
the
3
gonna
people
months.
know how it works.
I'm not going to hunt for it. I'll put it up on the video.
Okay.
But
You want to
the-
give us? Do you remember an idea of what it
the
said?
gist of
remember.
it was it's me, and I was at a cigar bar, and I'm looking at the camera like this, and I'm holding a cigar, so
Yeah.
I've got this like wry look on my face, and it says, you want to cast a spell?
You didn't ask.
Not on my watch.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's I think what it says. Which I mean, it's a little bit of an exaggeration. I am particular.
Is it though?
Sometimes it's funny
Is
to
it
counter a
though?
soul ring, but usually I'm picky about
I
what
still
I
I still remember when you beat me because you countered my ramp
Yeah.
like a Kodama's reach or
Yeah.
something, and I was like, it's a weird thing to counter. And then I was like, crap, that was a really
Yeah,
good
that's the
thing
other
to
thing.
counter.
If you want to keep Jeff from winning, just destroy all of his ramp because that's all. Like the first 5 turns of the game, that's all he does. He just ramps, and then on turn 6, it's like, oh, I have 600 mana.
Destroy his
Tap,
ramp and
win.
stop his card draw.
But be careful because I ramp and I leave mana up, and I typically have an answer. So don't get too cute.
You have one answer.
Be careful.
No, listen.
That's
The
true. I
people
probably
need to
only
know.
have one, but I got one. So
Yeah.
who? It's
People-
like that when you got that gunslinger, right? There's 6 of you. There's only one of me. Which one of you wants to die first? No one steps up because they don't want to be the one.
Well, I'm saying kill Jeff first. I think that's the
I
thing.
don't
I mean, we
so.
need to come up with another slogan for him, but I definitely think he needs a sign made for sure. If you
Yeah.
if
Don't
The
listen
sign
to
for the
Jeff.
person
Yeah.
who comes to the shop once every 4 months.
it's enough to warrant a
They'll
sign.
be like, "Who's this guy on the sign? We've never seen him."
Yeah. At least with Andrew, he's there every week. So
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, that's you."
Yeah.
we'll have to make Jeff a shirt so that whenever he comes to the shop, he has to wear the shirt that says politics. Who me?
It should just say Jeff, so
I'm
they
just-
so they remember who he is.
I'm just a nice guy.
Okay.
know. So besides this topic, Jeff, what's triggering you this week?
Well, like I said last week, it's mistakes. So this particular mistake is kind of funny. I'll look up the card here. So it's when Johnny was playing. I believe it was your Prosper, and I think you won that game.
Yep.
With Prosper.
Mhm.
But I had a card called Profane Command, and it's X black sorcery. Choose 2. Now I thought because these cards there's so many words on every card now. If you see this card, which maybe Duncan can put it up right here, then it's just all words. It says choose 2. Target player loses X life. Return target creature card with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Target creature gets -X until end of turn. Up to X target creatures gain fear until end of turn. And I read this as choose 2 different ones, but I didn't read it correctly because I could have chose the same one twice. So I had enough life I had enough X mana that I could pay into it. I could have just killed Johnny on my turn.
No, you have to choose 2 different ones.
You do?
Yeah. The cards that say you can choose the same mode more than once say you can choose the
yep.
same option more than once.
Then I probably would have just done target creature gets -X, maybe but you would have just played Prosper out again.
Yeah, I had so much mana I could have replayed them.
So even reading the card and then reading the card again, sometimes you still get the card wrong, like I just
The
did.
other thing about Prosper that Sloan loves pointing out all the time, it doesn't matter if he's out. The card he exiled last turn still can be cast on his turn.
That's true. Yeah, it's
He's-
really hard to stop.
You don't get
Prosper.
the treasure though.
I don't get the treasure, but the point with Prosper is I'm basically allowing me to draw cards, quote unquote, by just exiling a lot of stuff over and over and over again. And I cast it from exile. And because when he's out, I get a treasure for it. A lot of times I'm either netting mana, breaking even, or I'm essentially cutting the cost of whatever I just cast down by 1 or 2 because I'm getting mana back for it. And so that's essentially what I do is I basically just get an exile train going where I exile something, cast it, get a treasure, exile something, cast it, get a treasure. And yeah, that's how I win. So that's how I
Right.
won with that game was I pinged everybody down with Mayhem Devil and one other guy. I can't remember who. There's another one that does. Oh, Fireweaver, I think was.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the
You have Mirkwood Bats in there, right?
oh yeah, for sure. Mirkwood Bats, Mayhem. I got Roaming Throne in there. There's a couple other of the pingers that I have in there too. So, but
Right.
Mayhem Devil actually, I'm thinking about putting in my Indoraptor deck because I can
Yep.
ping any one target. Indoraptor, do it again. Indoraptor, because his other ability, the other part of his ability is you either you can sacrifice a non-token creature or you have to take the damage. So if they decide to sacrifice a creature that triggers Mayhem Devil, then I hit Indoraptor again and I do it all over again.
So Jeff's mistake, though, going back to that, was not a mistake.
It wasn't a mistake. His mistake was thinking he made a mistake when he didn't make a mistake.
So
that aggravates me even more.
Yes.
So now I'm really aggravated.
Yeah. So
yeah, no. If you play those cards, there are certain ones because I have a handful of them that I do play.
And that's what's I want to really talk about what's aggravating. It says choose two. As a human being, you read the card. It's supposed to explain the card. It doesn't, because there's another rule that's hidden somewhere on some website somewhere that says when it says choose two, they must be different targets.
Must be different options.
That is ridiculous. That's the hard part about this game. That's just crazy.
Well, the
reading
shortening
the
they've
card
done.
doesn't even explain.
Yeah,
the
the shortening they've done. Sometimes you think, well, if it doesn't say this, well, no, they just shorten it. Now, unless it says you can choose the same mode twice, you can't.
But glad to know I lost that game fair and square, not because of my mistake.
Right.
We'll call Prosper fair and square. That seems right.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't like
But
that
Jeff,
deck.
you did find us our card of the day.
Oh, because I love this card. It's
Yep.
in a lot of my decks.
Open the Way.
Yes.
And I don't know how obscure it is because it is like 350 right now.
Yeah.
Open the Way is X and 2 green. It's a sorcery. X can't be greater than the number of players in the game. So the most you're going to have is 4 in a 4-player game. Can't have more
Or
than that.
5 in a 5-player game, which
Yeah.
you do sometimes
Yeah.
play.
Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X land cards. Put those land cards onto the battlefield tapped and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So I think that's the best ramp card there is,
It is.
really, if you have the mana.
Yeah.
Early game, when you need early game ramp, this isn't that good. But if you're just trying to get up there,
Yeah, because it's any land. So you can get a Field of the Dead off this. You can get a guy's Cradle off
Yep.
this.
Now it
It's
is
any land.
reveal off the top, right? So it's not like you're going to get them searching for them. You're
No.
just revealing.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
But you
so-
could get dual lands. You can get all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff where
Yeah.
the other
but
ones
you don't
you're
know
going to
what
get.
you're going to get either. You
That's
can't
right. You
choose.
could end up with basic lands, but let's be honest, so many decks nowadays don't really have that many basic
Yeah,
lands.
they're built wrong. We can say it.
You
So,
can say
I
it.
mean, this for sure is a great turtle deck card because he would force them all to come in untapped.
Yeah.
So
Now you get all that mana back.
yeah, dude, buddy.
You're only paying 2 green.
Essentially, depending on which ones I get, because I have some of those the ones that come in and tap for 2 technically.
Yeah.
So I do have some of those that will that come in and they would come in untapped. So it
Which
actually,
what happens then if you have the one that comes in and says you still have to put a land back to your hand, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So
But I would just put that one back to my hand. I would tap it for the
Yeah.
2 mana, and then I put it back to my hand, so I have 2 mana floating.
because you can tap it in response
Yep.
to. I thought it was part of the cost to put a land back to the hand.
Nope. Lands don't have costs like that. Let me rephrase it. That land does not have a cost like that. It says whenever it enters the battlefield, so it's already on the field,
Okay.
return a land you control to your hand. So because Turtle puts it in untapped, I put it into play, I tap it, and then in response, I then put it back to my hand.
So even though we didn't have a section that doesn't do what you think it does, that's a really good little trick there to
Yep.
know that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of what this card is about, is explaining different ways you can use it. So for me, Turtle deck is the first thing I'm thinking of. He forces them to come in untapped, and then I have certain lands that tap for 2, so I could potentially basically make all my mana back.
But it doesn't have to. It doesn't matter what deck you put it in. If it has green, that's
yeah, I mean,
good.
it is a good card because of the fact that it's guaranteeing
A 5
you.
color deck might be a little rough. You don't know if
because
you're going to
getting
have
the
2
2 green pips is hard. But other than that,
But even in that,
because you're going to
though,
get with lands of multiple colors, so
Right.
you're going to be
like
it's
even in
fine.
that one, I would say it's
Yeah,
still
if
good.
you can pull it off in a 5 color deck, I would put it in there.
And
but
in most of my 5 color decks, I understand that my ramp is probably green because it's safer to get lands than it is
right.
put artifacts that could be destroyed. So like in my dragon deck, this would work perfectly fine. Or matter of fact, it does work perfectly fine.
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely think that's a cool card that you can utilize a lot in a lot of different situations. Later game when there's less players, potentially not as good, but still good because again, you're getting a minimum of this many, however many you pay into.
Yeah,
it.
because the cost goes down.
Well, and the other thing too that's actually cool, another good deck I think would be cool is Calamax because it copies it.
Yep.
So I get 8 lands.
It's true.
so 8 lands for what, 6 mana?
Also, Storm,
Yes, if you the new Storm deck too, because she
Force of
copies.
Nature.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Storm would be real good. Yep.
Yeah.
So, no, that's a good one. That's one that Sloan and I had not played.
yeah. I've never even seen it. I don't think.
I'll have to pick up a couple
I'm
copies.
not a good friend because I have and I know a lot of decks, and I guess I just never.
Yeah.
Told
I mean, it took you
guys.
20 something years to realize that.
No, I kind of knew it.
Okay.
But yeah, we didn't know it exists. It's from March of the Machines. I'm gonna pick a couple up for sure.
Yeah, which that set kind of, I know it was a lot of people were excited about it initially, but I feel like because again of how many sets we had come out this year, it kind of came out.
You
and
better check your cards. I'm pretty sure I bought a ton of those, and I'm pretty sure I gave you a couple.
You sure?
Actually, you check your cards. I bet you have a couple.
Because that's an easy thing for me to do is check my
Hey,
cards.
listen.
Yeah,
if
I
your
don't
problem
have
is you have too
tens
many
of
cards to
thousands.
look through your cards.
Yeah,
It's
I
not my
have
problem.
2 full
Nobody here is feeling bad for you.
tool chests full of cards. I have.
I mean, do you have,
I have
organized?
2 3 rows of 7, 3. So 21 drawers. I have 2 21 drawer card cabinets.
That's ridiculous.
Library card catalog card cabinets. And I still have cards in boxes.
Which, by the way, I need to have you come over and help me build my deck because I've got tons of good cards that I'm not using, and I'd rather not have them.
Okay.
So I'll trade them away for stuff I want to use.
All right, that sounds good to me. So let's move into today's topic: Santa's gifts for Magic players. So we're going to talk about some last-minute gifts ideas for old Saint Nick to send to us Magic players that maybe might be needed, might be something we didn't know we needed. Helpful things. So the first one I had is a cheapie. It's dry erase playing cards. Don't pay for Infinite tokens when you can buy these on Amazon for $7.99 for 180 of them.
They're so good.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I
great.
did buy the Infinite tokens. And
Which
then
are
you
cool. They're cool. They look nicer.
It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch and I gave some of them to each of you guys,
Yeah.
right? And then you bought all those, and I was like, oh, that's so much smarter.
Yeah. Now I did make a mistake the first time.
Yes, you did.
And didn't say dry erase. So I had some permanent token makers. I
Because
saw a ton of them.
I made one, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Here, the game's over. I go to erase it. It's just streak. I'm like,
So I had
that's not dry erase."
I had searched for dry erase, but those came up with it. I'm like, oh, those are cheaper. I'll get those. Well, they were cheaper because
I wonder why. Oh man, yeah. So I have one really smudged 2/2 zombie in one of my card boxes.
I mean, he's decayed.
Duncan is our buy off of what's that friggin'
Temu.
website?
Temu.
He is our Temu guy.
Yeah.
Temu. Oh
Yeah.
man.
But these you can find them on Amazon for $7.99, Santa. So that's a good stocking
That
stuffer
is a good
right
one.
there. Jeff,
Which that's a thing that's aggravating me too. Is Amazon's becoming more like Temu every day. It's annoying.
Yeah. Oh man.
Jeff, did you have a gift idea for Santa?
Yeah, so I have 2. One of them is I think it's really cool to buy gift cards from the card shop. Because one, it'll get people to go down there and maybe stay to play a game, which is really cool. And then it also supports the local shop. And when I was there, look, when you go on TCG or Card Kingdom or any of those things, if you want to support us, you can. If you go on any of those things, you have more options. You're going to get a better price. You have more time to look. It's not as fun though.
No.
Like going to the shop, it was really
And
fun.
you get instant gratification.
Yeah, and maybe that's something to do with it. But you also have to be more imaginative because the best card I want is not there. But what other idea can people come up with that is there? And it's like, oh, that was kind of fun to get that card that wasn't the most optimal choice, but was one I didn't think of, and it's still fun. And then the other thing is just, and they may go into more detail, but Etsy. I mean, anytime you want to buy something for any nerd, anything, D&D, Magic, just go on Etsy. There's tons of stuff people make.
Deck boxes, and I got a digital life counter on there. It's pretty cool. They'll put whatever you want at the top.
Yeah.
Mine says Podfather at the top.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, my buddy actually, Taylor, the guy we play D&D with, he actually bought me a deck box off of Etsy as kind of a thank you because I lent him my truck for 2.5 days for him and his girlfriend to move. So as like a small little thank you thing, because I told him he didn't have to do anything. He just put gas back in it whenever you're done, like wherever it was at, and they actually filled it up all the way, which is nice. But yeah, he bought me a deck box. It was really cool. It's this hard case deck box and it has a magnet on top. And it has a display slot for your commander. So it sits in the front and then you pull off like this little magnet piece and it slides out to display and then your deck's behind it.
Yep.
Which is really cool. And then Duncan got me some stickers and I put on there a sticker on there that says, I think, killing gets XP or something like that.
Yep.
so
That's
yeah,
very
definitely. Yeah, and it's my Calamax deck box. So it's really cool. But yeah, Etsy for sure is a good one.
Yeah, no, I found a lot. Oh, I got a. So I built the Iron Man deck, and I found an Iron Man helmet deck box.
Oh, it's so cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
So
I got
dope.
that on Etsy. So
I
you can
ju-
find a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
on Etsy.
I just bought someone the Iron Man Alexa thing. That was pretty.
Oh
cool.
yeah, for their
Oh yeah,
Echo.
the
Yeah,
eyes light up and stuff. It was
that's cool.
For sure.
Sloan, you got a gift idea for
Yeah.
Santa?
So it's actually something that Duncan had mentioned, and I think Jeff also had mentioned a couple of episodes ago. But playmats are super cool. If you go to get the official MTG ones, which are very nice and they're very cool, they're well made. They're a little bit more expensive. I think they're like $20-ish to try to get one of
Sometimes
those.
30. Yeah.
Sometimes 30. Especially if you get the ones that are only at the conventions, those ones are very expensive.
And they're
Yeah.
really hard to find.
Right. Yeah.
Like, why
sometimes
can't they
they're
make
hard.
enough of these freaking ridiculous.
But I will say it is cool when you have your mat and your sleeve match your commander. That's
yeah.
definitely really cool. However, though, there is a page that makes custom mats where you can send them whatever picture you want, and they will print it on the mat and
Inked
send it to you.
Playmats does that, I know.
Yep. And
There's
do
so
some
they
other
look
ones.
good?
yeah, well the he has one I think that he got
So
from there.
no, so I got mine from Temu.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how much I paid?
Hold on, let's guess. $275.
I wish. No, it was $7.90.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
cheap.
And so,
So
you
cheap.
upload your own picture, pick whatever picture you want. So I wanted a playmat for Wolverine,
Yeah.
and so the one I picked was Wolverine fighting Deadpool,
Yeah.
and it came out crisp, like it was really sharp. And I paid $7.90 and had to wait about 7 days to get it.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, and so one of the cool things I think, specifically, if you want an idea of like, well, I don't know what to put on there, as you can see if you're watching the video, there's Lord of the Rings, Assassin's Creed, and then your regular Magic stuff that are now technically all Mod Podged into this game of Magic. And I was telling Duncan at our show meeting, I was like, it would be really cool to have a custom mat where Gandalf is fighting Iron Man, fighting a T-Rex, fighting Doctor Who.
But
you know?
Sloan, I'm not an artist. How in the world could I do that?
Well, there is a neat little tool tip called AI, and you can go on there and have it generate you a picture and then just send it to Temu and they'll print it out for you.
Yep.
So a free picture generation of whatever you want sent to Temu for $8, and 7 days later you can have your own custom playmat with whatever picture you want on it.
And I'll tell you what. So the key to it, though, there's a lot of them that say custom on Temu. It has to say personalize in black in a bar on the top left corner of the picture of the listing. It doesn't have to say that, but that's the easiest way to do it, because when you do it with that, you upload the image as you order it. A lot of the other ones that say that don't have that, you have to, like, they send you an email and you send an email back, and things get lost. It could make it take longer. It's part of the buying process if it says personalized.
Well, also you're probably avoiding any type of rules, because like technically, if there are rules on those AI images and what you're allowed to use them for, and so
personal use is allowed on AI. On the AI images, that would be allowed. The thing I'd be a little bit like, okay, you might be bending or breaking the law,
companies
is when you go and download an image off the internet.
No, the companies that are selling you that, because they're letting you put the image on there and selling you a product with the image. It's not personal use. So
Well,
that's where
some
it
of
gets
those
sketchy.
places
But if
are.
you go to Temu, they probably don't care.
Right. Well, some of those
we're not
places
endorsing necessarily doing that. You
Right.
can do it.
We're just explaining the differences. But some of the sites that create the images are trying to sell stuff. Most of them aren't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they want you to buy the stuff
Dolly.
from them.
No, there's no option to buy the stuff from them.
Oh.
Yeah. You buy the membership and that's it.
Oh, right. And then you might have access to use
Right.
that
Yes.
to put on other things. So there are just rules. I would suggest you look them up and know them if
If
you're
you
going to
care.
do stuff. If
So-
you should care.
But
Yes.
yeah, so custom playmats are pretty cool.
Yep.
There's one I've seen that it's I have one that says Salt Life on it and a little salt shaker that I
Yeah.
really like to bust out every once in a while. But
Which
saw
you
one
need a
recently.
new one of those.
yeah, I saw another one recently that says you should probably just stop playing since your deck is bad.
That is a very Johnny comment. Yeah.
So
You
but
need one that just says be better.
Oh, that
I
would be
do. I
great.
actually have a
And it needs
coffee
to be
mug
facing
at work.
away from you.
Yeah, it faces
like
the
you're-
other way.
They're like your playmat's upside down.
Is
You're
there
like, no, it's not.
is there any? There's no bees in Magic yet, are there?
What?
Like any creature,
Queen bee.
Queen bee. That'd be amazing. The bee better.
Queen
with
bee
that
better.
as with that as the
Yeah.
background,
There
the
you go.
Magic card.
I know it'd be really cool is if I can't remember, I always forget what it's called, but when you have a word that it's one way facing you and you flip it
Oh,
over,
yeah.
it's the other way. So like it faces out, it says be better everybody else, and it says to me like you're better.
No, you don't need that.
I do. You're right. I don't. I know I am better.
So another thing, if you want to go a
So
little more
unbelievable.
expensive than the stuff we've been talking about,
Yep.
the Foundation Starter Collection.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's
So this is a
very
box.
expensive gift.
It's
yeah.
$57.
What?
Yeah, not the. No, I'm not talking about
Not the
set.
collector's pack.
Not the set,
Oh.
not collector
The-
booster. It's called the Starter Collection. It's
It's
kind
this,
of like a
right?
bundle. Yeah, it's like a bundle box. It's a little longer. It comes with like 350 cards, but it comes with things to build commander decks. It comes with Soul Ring. It comes
For a
with
new
Arcane
player.
Signet.
Okay.
It comes with cards that you may need, and it comes with some exclusives, and then you get a couple packs as well. It comes with the life counter, the twisty life counter.
Yep.
Not the cheap cardboard one they used to put in the decks, but the actual 2-number one that you
Yeah.
twist. And it's got some good stuff in there. I think it's well worth the money. And it's a lot of fun. It's got lightning greaves. It's got some good staple stuff. in
Probably
there.
more than $50 worth.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure, 100%.
I'm proud of my kids because I asked them what they want, and they wanted some Magic cards for Christmas. And I said, "What do you want? Packs, cards? Do you want a gift card?" And they were like, "Yes, we want a gift card to buy our own cards." And I was
That's
like, "I'm
awesome.
so proud of you
That's
to
awesome.
not waste money on opening packs."
Yeah, well, they've learned from your mistakes.
Yeah, they sat there and watched you do it
Yeah.
every single year for the last 5 years. and
I
then
don't buy that.
Just
many
family
boxes.
luck is not
You
the
buy
best.
one box every year, and every time
Yeah,
you're
you
upset.
almost did it
every
this year.
time. He did do it this year. Modern Horizons 3.
Oh, but okay, he almost did it again this year. At Christmas, when we were talking about Christmas, he's like, maybe I should buy a box. What box should I buy? I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
You regret it every time.
Although I did pull that one jeweled lotus out of there.
Yeah,
which
that you
sort of
used all
paid
your luck
for,
in that one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would buy probably
a-
if you really wanted to buy one, I'd probably buy a box of Foundations because there's a lot of really good reprints in there that are just
I
nice to
think
have.
Innistrad Remastered might be better, but I
That's
think
next year.
So,
it's January.
all right. So,
Yeah, that's next year.
Just pre-order.
so the next most expensive thing I had on my list was Foundations
Yeah.
Jumpstart box, though.
Oh, my buddies bought one of those.
Are
So
they
the
good?
Jumpstart box has cards in it that aren't in the normal set, and there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good commanders.
Well, because
Jumpstart makes me mad because I bought
It's-
those Jumpstart commanders back in the day, and then eventually they started printing more Jumpstarts, and now all those really expensive cards aren't worth much anymore.
all the ones
Yeah.
that you're never gonna sell.
Yes.
I know it's upsetting.
Yeah, but
Yeah, my
so
buddies bought
the
actually
value
that.
in that, and actually, when I was looking, I tried to find prices on Amazon. You can buy a box as of yesterday, which now is 2 weeks ago, for $121.69, $121.
Pretty good.
And how
price.
That's a
many
very good
how
price.
many jump starts does it come with?
I'm trying to remember. I think it's 12.
12. Yeah, so because they're technically like mini decks is what they're supposed to be.
You put two together to make a
Right.
a not standard deck, but a
Yeah,
standard
and
size
if
deck.
you
Right.
if you really like your friends, you can buy them a collector box for like $300.
I think it's $350 or something.
Yeah.
So
Did you guys have any other gift ideas?
yeah, so life counters. So there's a lot of different life counters you
Yeah.
can get for this game. There's some super cool ones like the one he was talking about off of Etsy, which is like the digital one. I know a lot of people have like the apps on their phone, which are pretty cool, but there are other ones. Like for example, Lizard uses an abacus. That's Magic the Gathering. It's
Yeah.
actual Magic the Gathering product. It's an abacus, and it has the little slidey things on it and stuff. The spin down dice. Assassin's Creed and Lord of the Rings, these two boxes here, both have their own custom spin down dice that you get in them, which are life counters or 20-sided spin downs,
Yep.
which are super cool.
The pre-release kits all come with a spin down.
Yep. And then the ones that he was talking about, which are the plastic ones that are like a 2-piece and it spins and you can rotate it. But there's other really cool ones again from like Etsy and stuff where you can get that are like the twist ones, but they're magnetized so you can keep adding it. So if you
Yes.
have that
I
gross
like the
life gain, yeah,
because you sometimes have a deck that goes over 100 life.
right. And so those people who are the greedy life gain decks, you can actually get this. So it's only 2 to start with, and if you get up there, you just take the third one and it magnetizes to the side to make the third thing for it. So it actually you can grow it as your life grows.
I also got so I made some proxies of Force of Will that I give out at conventions and stuff, and it has Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Yep.
And
Classic.
everybody loves that card. I got that made into a life counter.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I saw
have
that. That's
one. I
good.
got that on Etsy, and a guy on there, he did a great job. It's like plastic, and it's got the 2 dials, one on either side, so it lays flat like a card, but it's a little thicker. And I always get comments when I
The-
bring that one out.
The other thing that's really good to get people are the carrying cases.
Oh
So like,
Yes.
matter of fact, if we can put up the Stanley ones we've used before,
And then
Well,
I have
so my
Ryobi.
recommendation is I'll show the Stanley one, but I'll try and find two like a generic. You can find the same thing and not in a brand name and save some money.
Right.
It's the same type of killer.
great. Yeah, if you can show that, but they're really great because you know, it's the ones you use to take tools around, but instead it's carrying magic cards. So they're really sturdy. Water won't get in them. They really protect your cards really well, and they latch down really good. So you can feel pretty safe if you walk away. Someone's gonna have to do a lot of work to open it up.
Yep.
It's not locked or anything, but you're not gonna sleight of hand that thing. It makes noise.
So
it's
and the
hard to
Stanley
open.
one comes with yellow like bins to put your screws and stuff in.
Yeah.
But actually, if you get the Ultra Pro 2-piece 150 card or 200 card card holders,
Card
Yeah.
they're
box.
clear, and I'll show those too. The top half of that slides perfectly into that. That's what I taught you to do.
Okay.
When you did
Yep.
them.
Yep. With those plastic.
So that way
parts.
you don't have the cards just loosed in the plastic bins, because then if you tip it upside down, sometimes they slide out. This way it keeps them tight. So there's some tricks to that.
Yes.
But that is, you can kind of have different levels of how you go about this. But yeah, those
By the way, the
Toolbox.
magic ones that are like a box that are like this size here, and they open up, and on each side it holds cards. It's a
Yeah.
plastic thing. Those fit in there perfectly too.
Yep.
So,
and you could just have your deck boxes. You can take those plastic things out and just have your
100%,
deck
yeah.
boxes. So those
Yeah.
are a very good one that we've done before. I know you really like those, Sloan.
Yeah, I actually got a Ryobi case from Duncan, and I actually have like my deck boxes is kind of all singled out in mine. And the cool thing about mine is it's called a Ryobi Link, and so there's like a wheelie case that you can get that it clicks onto the top of. So if my
And it locks in.
and
You have to
lo-
push a
yeah, you
button
have to
take
push
it
two
off.
buttons to take it off. And so eventually, when I get to Duncan's level and I need another carrying case, I might invest in that, so that way I can just have like a little suitcase that I can wheel around
Right.
and take with me.
Now, both of these guys have benefited from the fact that I'm constantly upgrading my card storage. So I
Yeah.
started with the Stanley ones, which I then sold to Jeff, and then
Mhm.
I got the Ryobi one, which I gave to you.
Yep.
And and I'm constantly upgrading. I had a duffel bag, which actually worked perfectly for a while, but it's heavy carrying a duffel bag. So now I have a wheeled duffel bag, which I really like that I use.
Yeah. So the real gift that Santa needs to bring us is in your life is someone like Duncan who just has an issue and can't stick to anything, and he just gets bored of something and gives it away to somebody else.
Yeah, right.
That's what you really need
I
in your
mean,
life.
gives it away to you. I buy them. I buy them.
Well,
Since the
yours
microphone is very far away from my face now.
who's really good at
Well, yours
politicking
were
then?
more expensive.
You
too. Yours were more expensive. just
That's
to be
true.
fair.
But yeah, no. So and actually sticking with the deck box theme, they actually started making these custom deck boxes that they're magnetized, but when you open them up, there's like a full art picture on the inside. And so the cool thing about those is you can get the ones like of your commander. So like you open it up and it's like a full scale, very well done picture of your commander or something else that are pretty cool. And those are another good gift idea.
The coolest thing I've seen, but I'm too cheap to spend money to buy it, is they have scenes now that people make that are for like Edgar Markov, and you're like in a cemetery with like a church,
Oh yeah,
and
I've seen
it's
those.
this whole built up scene, and there's places for your cards and your battlefield and stuff, but it's this whole scene you put
Yeah.
down, and I was like, I would love to get. Maybe I'll buy that this year.
I mean, for
to
me,
ask my
that's a
wife to
little
buy that
extra.
for Christmas.
It's
I
an
have
it's the most it's a huge play mat essentially is
Yeah.
what it is. It's like it's an
But it's
environment.
three-dimensional.
Yeah, it's like an environmental play mat. I saw someone do
Has
Jurassic
a place
Park.
where your cards upright like this,
Yeah.
looking at people.
Yeah.
I think I might ask my wife.
See,
to get
for me
that.
though, with all my other accessories, that becomes like, where do I don't. How
and
do
you
I,
only do that when you play one deck too, because it's well, maybe you can make it work for multiple decks if it's a graveyard,
yeah.
but like it wouldn't work for every.
No, but those
Yeah.
are cool. I've seen those. Yeah, that's definitely cool. So do you guys have anything else?
Actually, another one going on that is so essentially kind of the same thing, but just for your commander. They make those things where you can put your commander and you can keep track of your commander damage from everybody else and your life counters on it. But it's like this raised, almost like card sleeve that's hard and thick, and it's themed. So I've seen a couple of those that are really cool. Like I saw one, someone made it for, who's the really big dinosaur that you play?
Gishath?
No, not him. The one that's in your deck that does stuff when you cast them.
It brings out all the other dinosaurs.
Zakama?
Zakama. That's it.
Ah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
So they did
okay.
one for Zakama, and it was like it looked like a footprint like of a dinosaur, and
that's
like
cool.
it was super cool, and there was like little grass on it. It was awesome. So those are cool too. If you have someone like us who has an absolute favorite commander, like what we talked about in our last episode, and it's like if you want to get someone something that's super.
Just
niche
remember
for
all
that.
this stuff you buy. Now you got to carry it around. So
Well,
just take that into
Santa's
account.
going to bring this to us.
No, when you go to the
When
shop,
you go to the shop,
yeah,
you have to
yeah.
carry.
you got to
it.
bring all the stuff with you. So that's
Or just be Jeff and just forget it all.
So then you
yeah,
go
and then
to
because Duncan always, I don't bring dice, I don't bring life counters. Sometimes I don't even bring mats,
He
even
didn't
though I
even bring
have
his
all
life
these things.
mat
I
last
just
time.
show up and know Duncan has it all.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even have tokens. Like I kept playing things that made tokens.
Yeah,
and Lewis kept giving me
the
tokens.
only part he was playing in the game after he was dead was handing Jeff tokens.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing too, I guess we'll bring up because you just mentioned dice. Those +1/+1 dice and -1/-1
awesome.
dice
Those are so good.
They're so cool too.
Yeah.
If you can get your hand on those,
They
And
sell
they're
them on
+1/+1
Amazon, you
and
can get 'em on
-1
Temu.
-1.
yeah, they do both.
Yeah.
So
Those are cool.
But if you have a friend like Duncan, you don't need to buy them because he has them.
yeah, you
Duncan
just
has
ask
so
me.
much.
I have the other thing I have is the status, the counters like Death Touch, Lifelink,
Oh,
Hexproof.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have those that you can put on there. I have two different kinds. I have ones that are like round.
Which there are
discs,
cardboard
plastic.
versions of those that are available. In
Yep. Sloan keeps
Magic.
a little.
Yeah,
pack of
you
those.
actually get them in some of the boxes. I think it was Lost Caverns of Ixalan. They actually came with some of the commander decks that did that. The little like circle punch out cardboard ones. You just pop them right out.
Yep.
And, so I saved them. So I actually have a bunch of those, including +1/+1s and Exerted, and
Yep.
I have a brick counter for.
So another one I'll
Wherever that
bring
came
up: if
from.
you play things that have tokens, get specialized tokens made by the artist. If you go to the artist page,
Yes,
they sell the
very
tokens,
cool.
and
Oh,
they're very cool.
That is something we need to
we
do.
did that when we went when I went to the con with you.
Yeah.
I got like
From RK Post.
yeah, and I got like Halo ones and
I
some
got a
vampire.
I got a Grogu gold token.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I had one deck that had
Yeah.
gold instead of treasure, and he
those
actually
were
had the
cool.
gold
I
token.
want to do that again.
Yep.
I would.
Uh,
Okay.
I
so-
like the one I love the most though, and I don't use it enough. The clear upkeep one. It was clear. It said upkeep. You could put it on top of your deck or on top of the card to remind yourself that there was an upkeep.
There's one
trigger.
I've seen for phase out. All it does is it's clear, but it's a little hazy,
Oh,
and you
that's
put it on
cool.
your card to let everyone know it's phased out.
That's cool.
That was cool
Yeah.
too. But yeah, there's tons of stuff you can buy.
No,
Just
we
have
should-
unlimited money and you can get all this
Yeah,
stuff.
real,
Santa will bring it.
yeah, real
That's
quick
true.
though. So if we
I mean,
had
for us, we were good.
If you want a fat guy who breaks into your home, kisses your mom or wife, has rosy cheeks because he's been doing something, knocking it back. I don't know why his cheeks are that rosy. This is a suspect dude you don't want walking around your home.
I mean,
Eating your food, drinking your milk.
I guess
this
we're
is
checking that
questionable
not for kids
behavior.
button on this one. Either.
This
probably
is questionable behavior. is
yeah,
what I'm
but
saying.
he's leaving stuff. He's not taking anything. If he's leaving stuff, that's good gifts. I
I
don't
mean, he
care.
eats your cookies.
That's okay. I don't need them. Clearly. But no, I was gonna say real quick before we end the segment. If we had to create a custom token of us, what do you think you would be? I have an idea of what I would be. If someone's like, you know how the command zone has like tokens that are representative of like some of the people on the show, but it's an actual token. I'm pretty sure I would be like the beast token.
I think I would be an emblem that says the first spell your opponent plays each turn is countered.
That's not what I meant, but that's great.
I
like
can't think of a token I would
I
be.
think Johnny's he'd be a troll.
Oh yeah, I'd be like a 4/4 troll or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that makes sense. I think you would be an assassin.
I think I'd be one of those politic cards, right? That says when you get to vote an extra time.
Yeah, so you'd be
or
like an
something like
emblem
that.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
Yep.
I
Well,
would,
there
no,
are-
we should make Jeff a bird.
Or
yeah,
a
because
planes-
he loves birds
I
so
can
much.
see one where I'm Planeswalker and the emblem is that you eventually get.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should try to make custom tokens too that we can
Yeah.
hand out.
I don't know
Lizard's an
that.
artist. We could probably have him draw them out.
Yeah,
That's true.
That'd be
All
cool.
right.
Lizard's is a great artist.
All right. So those are just some gift ideas, Santa. If you need some last minute stuff you need to put in our stockings or under our trees.
Oh
Our
yeah,
wi-
of course. Also too.
our wives should watch this episode.
Yeah. Of course too. I know we kind of didn't mention it, but just magic cards is great also.
Well, I did
Yeah.
mention it. I put in sets and
Yeah.
different
we
types
did.
of boxes.
And
And
talked
No,
about my
I'm-
kids wanting gift cards and to buy their own cards.
Well, but you
so
got
you just weren't listening.
no.
for the
I was
entire-
absolutely listening. I'm
entire
just saying, just
segment.
if you just want to buy some packs, probably for your loved ones too, they'd probably
Yeah,
appreciate the
If
fact
you want
that
to
you did
waste
that.
your money and buy packs, go ahead.
Yep.
You guys are literally the worst.
So next thing I wanted to talk about, I wanted to give an update on the Marvel giveaway. So what we've decided to do is wait till the new year, because the target I'm thinking of hitting is 100 subscribers on YouTube, and we're not there yet.
Nope.
We're not even close. So talking about it now, we're just kind of building up to nothing. But by the beginning of the year, we're hoping to have a few more and maybe be a little closer.
But this is going to be an insane value.
It's
for
the foil.
someone.
It's the full foil bundle.
Good grief.
Full honesty, like the other day, I have a deck concept I'm doing. I wanted another Wolverine. I bought one on TCG because I'm totally holding this for the
How much
giveaway.
did that cost?
It was $33.
That's not too bad.
It was 30 for the non-foil, 33 for the foil. I'm
Yeah,
like,
buy
why
the foil,
for $30 more.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's expensive.
Because those foils aren't curling. So that's
No,
good.
yeah. Hopefully they figured it out. You know.
For those foils, I thought they fixed all the foils, but as it turns out, they didn't.
Well, I mean, Foundations was printed probably long before those.
Yeah, so maybe it's fixing foundations.
Yeah.
but
So maybe going forward, or maybe they're gonna save it for premium sets. I
we'll
hope
find
not.
out.
Maybe. But so we'll give an update after the new year on the specifics, and we'll set the goal and the timeline, because there will be a timeline. I'm not going
Sure.
to hold on to this for 2 years. So, but let's move on to pro tips from a non-pro.
Gets me every time. Yeah, so kind of just talking about, Christmas coming up and everything, and the amount of potential money you're going to spend on Magic and gifts for other people, and hopefully time you're going to spend with your friends and family. Just wanted to remind everybody, kind of for the Thanksgiving one I talked about, just be thankful for what you're doing. Enjoy the time you get to spend with your friends playing this game. As
Looking
Jeff
at
has
you, Jeff.
mentioned,
Huh?
I
enjoy beating you guys.
as Jeff has mentioned, he's got a quite busy life, and so sometimes he can't make it all the way down to the shop. It is a drive for me and him, at least, to get down there. So, but with the time of year it's going to be, and it is right now as this is all happening, just kind of remember this is a game. It's supposed to be enjoyed with friends and family, and I know it's one of those things where at least these guys are probably thinking it's ironic for me to say that because I'm very competitive and get worked up occasionally, but just enjoy your time together that you do get to spend playing this game and having fun with it, and enjoy opening the packs together or getting the singles you're going to get and building the decks together that you're going to build, and being able to sleeve them up in nice sleeves that are custom or funny sleeves or whatever it may be, and just enjoy everything that we get to have with this game, because it's come a long way. It's very far from where it began, and again, I think the original creators of this game did not think it was going to grow to this scale that it did, and so just be thankful and just enjoy the time we're going to get to spend this season coming up, opening these packs and boxes and all these different Magic things and playing the game that we love, and just remember that it is a game, and we're doing it for fun.
And on that note, Lizard, I don't hate you. I like you. You're a great guy. Magic is just a game. Relationships are more important.
I thought you were going to say Lizard. The game can be fun, because Lizard's always like, Magic isn't fun.
I thought he was
tells people Magic is not a
fun
game.
Playing
This is
with
not
Lizard.
I thought he was going to ask Lizard if he was going to pay the one.
Well, if we do, we have to ask him in a funny voice, right?
That's true. Yes.
Yeah.
Is Doth going to pay the one, Lizard?
And he'll probably say
Please,
something
please.
rude and threaten you and
Are
say,
you
I've told
going
you
to
I'll
play
never
the
pay.
one?
Except the one time we did play, by the way, just a real quick thing. He paid it twice for me.
Yep.
Twice he paid it. Didn't pay it for anyone else at the table.
Because he was trolling.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just that special.
Troll the troll.
The other thing I was going to bring up, kind of I don't do pro tips, but just a pro tip. If you're a player who you want to get a gift for your fellow player of Magic and you don't have a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
You know what's a cool thing you can do? Go through the bulk bin. And it's a lot of fun to do. Go through the bulk bin, find them cards for their decks that they probably haven't thought of. When we go through bulk bins or older cards or things, that's why we do card of the day, finding out new things. You can find things on there like, oh my gosh, who knew this existed? It doesn't cost hardly any money. This would go great in this deck, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I would say also you could give dollars like Jeffrey dollars, and it's like you can exchange this for me going through and scanning your deck into Moxfield. And that's a great gift. That doesn't cost you any money.
Well,
it's just your time. And for people like me, that's huge because I don't have time to do it.
right. Oh,
I mean, he just finally took out Jeweled Lotus and
Yeah.
Dark Side from his deck.
So-
And Duncan helped
2
me.
weeks
Duncan
ago.
helped me replace those cards and go through those decks
you know,
because we had to go through like
and they were in
20 decks.
one or the other of those was in most decks.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? There was
Yeah,
like
Jeweled,
3
Mana
decks,
Crypt,
I
and
think,
Doc.
that had none of them. But,
Yeah.
and a couple of them had all 3.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was rough. But no, I'm just saying when you go through the bulk bins, it's fun to go through. It's an enjoyable activity you can do. You don't like doing that.
No.
Just don't ruin it. Don't ruin the bulk bin. Whatever you do, put the
Yeah.
cards
Oh
back
yeah,
in the
put
right
it back
spot.
in order, you mongrels. Good grief. Take a bath and put things back in order. Both things. Be better.
And now we know why Jeff doesn't go to the shop very
Good grief.
Well, I think now we know why we kill him first too.
Yeah. So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us once again. We hope you have an enjoyable Christmas season. I believe we'll have one more episode come out. I guess at this point, actually, it'll be the day after Christmas.
Yeah,
will
it'd be
the
right.
next
I
one.
think it's gonna be right after.
So have a
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Jack May at Info Pilgrims. If you want to check us out at Cast. You can email us at cast@commanderspod.com. Check out our website, commanderspod.com. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/commanderspod. And I think for this episode, when you see Jeff in the field, kill Jeff first.
Kill Jeff.
Oh my
first.
gosh, just when I'm in a field, I'm going to get murdered.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, my life is in danger.
Commander's Pod, where the stories unfold, with heroes and villains new and old. Duncan, Jeff, and Sloan guide the way in the world of EDH we play. So tune in, friends, let's draw and go. In the Commander's Pod, the love will show. From our decks to yours, we share the spark in this world of magic. We'll leave our mark.